Hi everybody, my name is Shannon. Welcome to my channel, Another Yarn. Thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it today and every day. I really do. Thank you so much. So we're going to go ahead and I'm digging some things out. Yeah, I am. I'm kind of taking stock of some things. Earlier in the week, I took stock of the squares that I was working on for my 2024 Advent calendar, because I bought another one. Yeah, I did. So I do have an advent calendar coming for 2025. And I decided, I wanted to take stock of those squares, which I did. Those are knit. Well, I have another blanket that I'm working on that I haven't taken stock of in quite some time. I haven't been working on it in quite some time. And it is the Nature's Walk blanket. Look at this. This is Nature's Walk and it's by Sandra Paul. And it's beautiful. So there's two variations of this. There's the free version, which I think it's 6 squares that you can get for free, and I highly recommend that. To look at Sandra's writing style, look at the charts, look at the written words. If you've not done chart crochet before, perfect opportunity, because it is verbally written out and there's a chart, so you can go back and forth and teach yourself a new skill. And if you enjoy making these squares and you're making a whole bunch of them, then you can always buy the bonus edition, the Expand-A-Pack, right? And that is the bonus edition, and it's right now, it says it's $7.02 in US dollars. And here we go. And that just gives you extra squares that you can add to your blanket. Now, none of them are any harder or difficult or anything like that from each other. It's just options. And we like options, don't we? Yes, we do. So this one has a lot of what I would term, it's got a lot of pretty patterns in it, like filet crochet, things that you want to see that lace in there, some beautiful, beautiful designs. So what they used is that yarn that I have an absolute dickens of a time pronouncing, Shapies. Yeah, they used that for theirs in a DK weight yarn. Gorgeous. So you're doing like semi-solids or solids, something like that would be brilliant with this particular blanket. Yeah, I didn't go that route. No, I went highly colored. Yeah, it matches my top. Yeah, well, a lot of things match my top. It's like tons of colors. So I went highly colored and I'm using sock yarn. Why? Because I have a ton of it. Why do I have so much sock yarn? Because Joanne at the beginning of the year decided, hey, we're going to go out of business. And before they made that final decision, all that other malarkey, everything that's going on with that, they had some killer sales. I think I was getting these for $3.99 a ball. This is 100 grams of sock yarn. Let me get one that has a label on it. Look at these. This was the KNC. I have no idea who picked up KNC, by the way. No clue. Joanne partialed their stuff out. Hirschner's has some. Michael's have some. Mary Maxim was selling something. I have no idea. But this is the KNC sock yarn, Sock Star. Love it. 75% superwash wool, 25% polyamide, 437 yards for the 400 meters. Washability should be easy. And it says machine wash, low iron, do not bleach, do not tumble dry, dry flat. I'd probably still put it in low tumble, but it's sock yarn, whatever. That's just me. You don't do that if you made something heirloom that you love and you don't want to make any mistakes with it. So I got a bunch of this in all the different colors that they had. I got a bunch of all of these. I got a couple more down here. I just got, come out, just these colors. They don't match each other, right? They're great for socks, obviously, and anything else you want to make with them, but they don't match. So I decided I'm going to put them all together in a blanket. I know, it's weird. What would you use to attach all of this stuff together with? I'm thinking neutral, probably like a black or a taupe or dark gray or something. Do I have all of that in fingering weight yarn? No, I don't. So when I get to that point, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm not there yet. I have plenty of time. So I'm crocheting these little squares. And I haven't done it in a while. I had some of them memorized. How many yards, how many rows are these? That I don't remember. I think they're like 7 or 8. Oh, here, look, I haven't done one. See? Look, see? Pretty. And that's what I mean by like the filet crochet. That beautiful pattern is going to show up nicer, maybe not in a highly colored square, right? I'm just saying it might look a little better, but I didn't care. I'm using it. It's mine. I can do with it what I want to. And I know that I put the love and effort into it. So I have these, and I blocked this. I did. I have a blocking board. I feel so fancy. I do. I had that thing for at least 6 months before I ever actually used it. But boy, I'm telling you, I stalked Amazon and I looked at all the different options and everything else. If you decide to get a blocking board, do yourself a favor, whichever one you get, try to get one with more pins in it. Yes, you can get the pins extra, but again, it's extra. It's another order. So try to do something that matches the size that you're looking for. I went with a 17-inch. Why? I don't know. It's huge. Love it. It works great for my knit squares that are huge, and you can do stacks of these, and those pins are like this long. They're like stakes. Don't fall on it. I'm telling you, you're going to impale yourself. But I can stack like 6 of them on top of each other and let them dry. And look at that. Like I said, I feel fancy. So I'm working on my blanket and going, well, how many squares do I have? I know I blocked a bunch of them, and I have others that aren't blocked. Look at this. Here's my blocked. These are blocked. All of these. I like how pretty that is. These are all blocked, and it's just that highly not appropriate sock yarn. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Just you're not going to see the color in the same as you would with a kettle dyed, a semi-solid, or a solid for that matter. You're going to see the pattern. This, it's there. It's just a little more subtle. That's okay. So here I've got this big stack. I'm like, well, how many do I have? How many more do I need? I need a lot more. I need a lot more. And then look at this one. This is my stack of, these are not blocked. Okay, so that's a good one to look as a comparison, right? Look at that. That's the same square. Okay, you can see the pattern. That's the same exact square. And it's the same yarn, and it's both with a size C crochet hook. But that kind of gives you an idea what the blocking did. Even with this, it opened it up. I mean, it's not a huge size difference, but it does open it up. Look at that. It makes it just so much nicer to play with and easier to spread out. And yeah, so I've got all of those. The blocked stack and the unblocked stack. And then I decided, okay, well, let me spread them out. So dogs are shedding. We have 3 Shibas, and they have the dual coat, which means they don't just shed just a little bit of hair, they just blow coat hardcore, and they are in shedding season. So got the vacuum out and vacuumed the space that I wanted to lay the squares down. As soon as I did that, my puppies decided I must be with you, all 3 of them. They're like on the floor with me, and I'm trying to lay the stuff out. Even Arlo, my feral puppy, he's like, yeah, Mom, you're gonna come love on me. It's okay. You're sitting on the floor. Yeah. So he sits up next to me. I'm trying to lay out all of my squares and see what they look like. And then Serenity, she's our female red. They're all Shiba Inus. So she's female red, and she's laying on the blanket, on the squares. And it's like, yeah, I'm cute. She is adorable. And she was definitely making herself at a home. And I think I counted them. I have 39 squares. Great. Nowhere near enough. No, I don't know how many I need, but I need more than that, right? You know, you're like, well, how do you know you need more than that if you don't know how many you need? Because I don't think it's big enough. I mean, it's big enough if I want it as a kid's blanket, or I was thinking of, well, actually for both of them for that matter, is hubby has his knit blanket that I made for him, and it's with the worsted weight yarn, the wool ease, and the red heart brushed acrylic, and it's nice, and it's a twin size. He's a big guy, and he uses that in the reclining chair, and it's great. Well, I want a nice blanket, and the wool with the sock yarn is lightweight, but it's going to be warm, it's going to be toasty, and all the pretty colors, the kaleidoscope of colors, I think it'll be great. So 39 squares is not enough. For one, 39 doesn't make a full row. But the other thing is, that's small. I don't know. I should have measured when I had it laying out, but it's not like they were laying out perfect, right? Because the dogs were helping. This square is like 6 inches, so I had a 6-inch square. That's what I blocked them to, is 6 inches. So they're these 6-inch squares. So 6 squares wide is only 36 inches. So I think I need at least 7 wide, because the border, if I do a border on it, yeah, because it does have a border in the pattern. Let's see, what does the border look like if I do a border? The border's pretty. That's pretty. Look. See? So that's a beautiful border. So that can add more stuff to it. But then again, I would probably want the border to be the same color, just like they did, as I've put everything together with, which means I'm gonna have to do another order. going to have to do another order, which is really interesting. I was just on Etsy. I know I shouldn't be on Etsy. I should not be on Etsy, because somebody brought up, it's like, hey, did you see this color opal sock yarn? Because I was talking about the opal sock yarn as being one of my favorite sock yarns. So then I had to go looking for that opal sock yarn. Why? Because no, I should not do that. That's why. And the color that they had mentioned, it was out of stock on the one place that I was looking at, but I'm sure you can find it elsewhere. One of the places that I like to, I go all over the place, but I have ordered from them before online, is Yarn Stories. Now, what country are they in? I think they might be in Turkey, not positive, but their prices are amazing. So you can get a, look at this, opal sock yarn. Look at that orange, right? The beautiful orange. Look at those colors. Oh my gosh, those things. And they're like $10.52 and $10.75 a skein for opal. It's like $20 to $25, $30 a skein normally. I mean, you can get, now their shipping is higher, so then you have to kind of do a dollar cost average. I have 4 skeins of opal in my cart, 2 solids, so I'd have to get more. I have a black one, a red one, and then those 2 beautiful colors that I just showed you. And they can get it shipped to me, to my house, to my address for $55. That's 4 full skeins of 100 gram sock yarn, opal sock yarn. Like, that stuff is magic. Like, that is amazing. So if I want to do this, binding it together, I don't have to have opal, which is just amazing as a sock yarn. I can use any sock yarn that's fingering weight, or, you know, any fingering weight yarn, but I do like the idea of putting it all sock yarn. And if I were to do that, then I'd have to get, you know, it's just, oh my gosh, I don't need any more. And then they do things like, hey, if you want to put in a really huge order, we're going to give you 15% off. I don't want to put in a huge order, but I did fill my cart with it. I really did. And it was absolutely amazing. I had like $180 worth of sock yarn in there, and it was a lot of sock yarn. I pulled it all out. I pulled it all out. I don't want my husband grabbing my iPad or my phone or whatever, logging into my Etsy account and hitting the button. I'm like, no, just because I'm playing doesn't mean I need all that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But, this one, oh, this is the Opal Sock Yarn Showbiz Collection. Look at that. We know I love my oranges. I mean, look what I'm wearing, right? That is stunning. I think I kind of need that one. What do we think? Do I need that one? If I do an order, I have to get that one. I'm just saying. And I'll go through them and go, okay, which colors do I really like that are, you know, $10, $11 as opposed to the 18 to 20, right? Because, you know, I'm that way. And then look at this one. Oh my gosh. Gorgeous. Look at those colors. Absolutely stunning. And opal sock yarn wears like iron. It does not wear out. I mean, you got to put it through the ringers for that to wear out. So yeah, I'm looking at that, and that's not a bad idea. They've got their solids. Their solids don't cost as much. Look at the beautiful colors for the solids. They got some gorgeous colors, right? You can even do the neons. You can do the hot pink. You can do, you know, I love that. All of those colors too. Or do the black. And I was looking for the black specifically for the toes, heels, and cuffs. I know I had a skein of opal sock yarn that I was doing that with. Cannot find it. Cannot find it. Haven't found it in quite some time. It's probably in one of the bags that's hanging up over here. I really don't know, but that's a good one for me to work with. I have some other colors of the opal with just the solids. We know earlier in the year I was using the blue, one of the blue colors, and that was an opal. And those are just fantastic. They're a good workhorse yarn. So if I'm, when I get to that point, they'll have other sales. I know this. When I get to that point, I'll have to decide what color I want to use. Maybe I don't want black. Maybe I want one of the other ones, or maybe, okay, they've got, look at that. Okay, so can we see the colors on that? Those 3 right there, those aren't all solid black at the end. You know, you've got some depth in there, a little bit lighter. What is 5278? A little bit lighter, so it's not quite the jet black. Does that make sense? 5278. What is that one? I don't know. What number is that? Okay, get out of the way. Oh, I missed 5191. Okay, what is 5191? Is that really the solid black one? I don't know what that word is. All right, we're going to expand that, and you can tell me. 5191. Antacid. Let's see if we can get that. Can we see that? 5191. It's the third one from the bottom. ANT something. I don't know. That's that color. I do not know what that word means, but that is that one right here on the end. So to me, it looks like a very good neutral, but not as dark and midnight as the black. Kind of like a softer black, if that makes sense. I don't know what that word is. I'm going to have to look up that word to see what that actually means. No clue. Maybe you guys can tell me. Something like that. But I have options to do that. That's not where I was going. Or I could do the cream. I could do the cream. There's a beautiful cream. Look at that. 3081. Look at that. I can do the cream. I don't have to do black. I mean, black is so stereotypical. I could do cream. I could do one of the other colors. I like the idea of the cream. Maybe it's because they have the cream on theirs, right? Maybe that's why. I mean, that's pretty. I could do that. That would be a nice way to end it off. Put everything together with the cream. Oh, I like that idea. I wonder how many I would need. Maybe 2? Yeah, maybe 2. And then use the others for, use the other whatever's left over for other socks and everything. And then that would give me options to do color work socks that are hard wearing. I have the Barocco Vintage sock yarn that I got. Is it Barocco Vintage? I'm not sure. But it is Barocco sock yarn that I got from the Aberdeen Wool Mystery Bags. And that one's more of an easy care. And I've got all these beautiful solids. And by easy care, I mean you have to be gentle with it. You should be easy with it. That's what I mean by that. And I can do color work with that, which I'd like to do. I mean, I talked about that earlier in the year, doing color work socks. And instead I've been doing textured socks. But I'm good with that, right? And like, ooh, let's have fun. But I don't want to do socks like that for my oldest son. I don't want to do socks like that for the guys in the family because they're used to having things that they don't have to be gentle with. I mean, some of the family members are gentle with all of their stuff. Others are like, you said I could put it in the machine, and they're going to do it, right? And it's not going to be as loved on and easy care, the gentle care. So that one, if I were to do any color work or anything, I would want to do it with the opal yarn. I would want to do that because it would still wear like iron. It would look just as beautiful, but it would be there wash after wash. Kind of like Premier Yarns advertises their anti-pilling acrylic, like 300 washes for their Oeko-Tex standard. I've never put it to the test. I have no idea, but that's what the label says. Opal's the same way. They don't put it on the label, but it looks the same wash after wash. It's amazing. I know I sound like an Opal commercial. It's my favorite hard-wearing sock yarn for a reason. And I'm making a blanket in sock yarn, right? Same composition. And I got to come up with something that's going to be brilliant to place all of these colors together. I think maybe the cream might be better. That's weird because I was not looking at cream at all. I was looking more the black or that, whatever that word is. I don't know how to say that. I don't know what that is. And I was looking at more of something along that line, a little neutral, but not so stark. Oh, did we show you some of these? Look at those. Look at these. They're just so much fun. And they're so easy. I like this one. I memorized that one. I did a lot of that one. That one was a lot of fun. It was easy. Right. And, some of them show up better, right? Because that's not going to show up as nicely because I'm using yarn that you wouldn't necessarily use. Like, look at this one. That's hearts. Can you see the heart? That's the center of the heart, and it goes up and then goes down. So this one has hearts on all 4 sections. It's pretty cool. It's going to show up better if you use a solid, but I'm not using a solid. I'm just having fun. That one's, I think, if we pull it back, that's a flower. You've got like the lobes right here, kind of like that. I think that one's a flower, but this one's a starburst kind of a thing. That was easy. That's a fun one too. Look at that. That one, if you did the circle right there in like red and then do something else, another color with that, it would just really look like a starburst. It'd be pretty fantastic. There's that one square again. I did a lot of that square. That one was an easy one to memorize, and it was a lot of fun to execute. I'm like, ooh, I'm making a bunch of those. This one was fun. Oh, okay, never mind. It wasn't fun. It's gone. Look at that. Aren't those cool? I was having a blast with these. And there's one of them. Oh, there we go. There's one of them. It takes a little bit longer. It's fine. It takes a little longer and everything uses a little bit more yarn. Not a big deal. Got plenty. I have plenty of yarn. I have lots of sock yarn. We're good. Look at that. That right there, it has bobbles. That one has popcorns on it. It is textured. That one has, can we get that? Can we get a picture? There we go. Oh my gosh, cover me completely. Got it. But now we can see that one has right there the baubles and the texture on it, and you can definitely feel it. So that one was fun. I didn't make as many of those, which is surprising because it doesn't show up as much, but it doesn't matter. None of them do. But you can still have fun with that. And I'm using stuff that I have. And I mean, I could use one of these crazy colors that I already own and put everything together with a crazy color I already own. Or I can get the a solid. And I think it kind of needs a solid. I have the Barocco Vintage. I think it is Barocco Vintage socks. Not positive. But I have that in solids. I really do. And they're beautiful. But again, that one's more of an easy care, and I don't know if I want to mix those. And I know if I got the opal, I know it would be hard wearing. The opal would be more hard wearing than anything else in this blanket. And I know that it would last wash after wash and whatever you put it through. And the Barocco, I'm not sure. It's a softer yarn and it's a gentle care. It's more gentle on the caring instructions. So even though I've got some solids on that I think would be spectacular, I think I would be better off going with the opal. I'm talking myself into it. That's fantastic. Just lovely. No, I don't need any. And you know, if I do this, I'm going to order more than I actually need because that's just how that goes, right? You know, because you're going to make that shipping great. Yeah, I know. But those colors are fantastic. Oh, and I put it in my cart for like 10 minutes and they popped up the coupon, right? And everything. So then that gave me the $4 off because it was just under 60 and then it put it as 55. So I thought that was pretty cool. That is a trick with Etsy. You put the things in the coupon in the cart and sometimes you'll get coupons, sometimes you won't. And let's see, what else did they have? They said if you ordered a whole ton of it, then they would give you 15% off. And I did have fun doing that. And no, I did not push the button. Don't push the button. I don't need that much. Oh my goodness. I think I'm going to go take a stock of the other solid colors of opal I have. Just a moment. All right, I went digging through all my stuff to find my solids that I think would work well with this blanket. And yeah, I definitely need to do an order. Here's my solids. Yeah, you're like, okay. I've got 2 of these. It's Deborah Norville Premier Yarn. And these are 50 grams, so 230 yards, 460 yards. So I have 2 of those in that creamy color that we were talking about. So I think that, okay, fine. And I got 2 of the black. All right, this feels a little light. Might have used some. You know how that goes. I mean, it is mine. I can use it. So not enough. This is the opal periwinkle kind of color that I was talking about earlier that I have used quite a bit of to do toes, heels, cuffs for socks. Love that. And then the only other opal one that I have in the solid that I could find was this pink. Yeah, I'm not feeling the pink for it, and I've only got the one. Ooh, do I have needles in there? Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, look at that. I have size 1, probably size 1, wood double point needles. Are they 1s or 0s? Eyesight's not good enough to read that on the side any longer. Well, then it's kind of rubbed out, so I'm going to blame it. I'm going to blame it that it's kind of rubbed out. But either way, I obviously had it ready to make socks at one point. My wooden ones. I do use the metal ones more, but you know, I had them. And then 2 other ones. This one, of course, we know I had to get because, yeah, that's like the beautiful lime green, but I only have the one because I don't normally buy 2 or 3 of the same color in sock yarn because, you know, I'll make a pair of socks with it or something and I only need 1. So I just have the 1. That's pretty. And then I bought this one on vacation at a different time. It's Universal. Beautiful. Couldn't find it. So I'm glad I found this because I've been looking for this and it was just tucked behind some of the other yarn. So I did find it. And I got that to do as toes, cuffs, heels for some other things, you know, doing those different types of socks. So if I want it to be the blanket is brought together by a solid color, I'm going to have to buy specifically the solid color once I do that. Looking at theirs, they did 48 squares, but their squares are bigger because they used real yarn and not sock yarn. I use sock yarn, so I have to make more squares. And then it was saying if you can use, oh my gosh, did I know this beforehand? 3,655 yards of a DK weight yarn in 7 different colors. I don't think I knew that. but I have plenty of sock yarn. I have a lot of sock yarn. That's just working with these specific Joann KNC brand sock yarns. I have a lot. Well, I mean, you see, that's sock yarns. I could intersperse solid colors in with the variegated stuff, but I don't think so. I'm just going to leave it as a crazy variegated blanket made with all these colors that I have, and they're going to live together, and it's going to be lovely. Yeah, I didn't pay attention. Yeah, I didn't look. I didn't care. I had enough sock yarn. I'm like, I've got plenty of sock yarn. It's fine. But it does say the one color that uses the most is 1,120 yards of DK weight. So that's your border. So I'm going to need 3, maybe 4 of these to do the border. I mean, if you look at it like that, 3 of them would be 1,200 yards for a full skein, and they're saying 1,120, and that's if you make it that size. You know, there's a lot of ifs involved with that. And I don't know if I'm making mine that size. I'm going to put more squares on mine. I've got 39 squares. They have 48. I'm going to use more squares because, well, I decided I was making mine in sock yarn because that makes sense. See, this is one of theirs all spread out. Look how pretty that is. Look how pretty. So they have 6 squares. I had mine laid out in 6 squares, and then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 squares. Mine was 6 by 6 with a few extras. So I just had an extra couple rows, but look, theirs is a human-sized blanket, and mine is a child-sized blanket. Yeah. That would be kind of interesting as a child-sized blanket with the wools and everything. That's not gonna wear out. That can be washed and thrown in the wash, thrown in a dryer. Just, it doesn't have to be easy, gentle care. That's a good way to put it. It doesn't have to be easy, gentle care, but that would be kind of an interesting kaleidoscope of colors for a child, because children don't need just, here you have the pretty blue, here you have the pink, that's all you get. They don't. You can have all sorts of things. So what did I learn today? If I want it to be joined together in one color, I have to buy the color. If I want to do something else, I mean, that's hearts around the edge, right? Yeah, I didn't realize that before. Look at that. That's a heart border. That's pretty. That would look nice with the cream the way that they have it. That would be very, very pretty. So if I wanted to do that, I'm going to have to buy enough of one kind of yarn. That's why I've talked about this before. I have a lot of yarn. I have a plethora of yarn. Do I necessarily have yarn to start a blanket? Yes and no, because obviously I am making a blanket on fingering weight yarn and it does not match, and that is okay. So yes, you do have enough for a blanket. Do I have enough yarn to make, you know, like Sophie's Choice or Sophie's Universe, or, you know, those type of blankets that are so popular and you know, planned out colors and what have you? No, I don't. Because you look at this one, and when you're looking at that and it says, hey, you need 3,655 yards of a DK weight yarn, all one weight, that plays nice with each other, and that many yards. Not unless I was planning on making multiple sweaters would I have that. I might have a sweater quantity of yarn and, you know, another sweater quantity of something else, but they don't play well together. You've seen my colors. They do not. It's like, is the same person picking out your yarn? Because your stuff does not match. You would think in a room this big, I could have harmonious things that could just fade and go together and they'll be beautiful. And no, I don't. No. My colors fight with each other. It's like the Fighting Irish. They fight. They clash, they fight. Look at that blanket. That's my colors. It's the craziest thing. You would think there'd be more things that match with weight, match with size, yardage, composition. No, they don't. They do not match. So I don't get to, that's not a good way to put it. If I want to do a spur of the moment, which is crazy anyway, like, I would like to make a blanket. I would like to make one of these gorgeous themed blankets. The closest I have to doing any of that is my downstairs overflow room, where this last 2 years that I have collected all of the Joann Big Twist yarn. And that is my closest. And if I don't have the colors or anything, well, I can get it at Herscher's now because Herscher's has picked up Big Twist value. But point is, that's my only choice. That's it. Everything else is, you know, the fingering weight or this or they sock weight. How are you making your blanket? In sock yarn. That's what I'm doing, in sock yarn. Yeah. Does it match? No, it does not match. Not at all. You having fun? Oh yeah. Oh yes, I am having a blast. Yeah. So I know what I've got cut out. I've got to do a whole bunch more, not literally cut out. I have a whole bunch of squares to do and make a decision on what color to bind them with, to join them with. And I'll probably go through the yarn stories, or I'll check. I always check all the different ones. I've ordered from them before. I've had no issues, been good shipping, and very reasonable prices for what I want. I know how much this stuff normally costs, and it works for me. There is no doubt. Prices on this. I mean, this is an old skein. I was wondering if there was like a sticker price on it, just to kind of give you an idea. I mean, this stuff's expensive. And yeah, so there we have it. I know what I have to do now. I know where I'm at. And it looks like another yarn order. So let me know what color you would join that together with, because I don't need to do an order instantly, so I have time for that. Yeah, I mean, I could do it in orange, right? Because we love orange, right? I love orange. I could make it orange. I think I'm better off doing a cream or something. I mean, there's a lot of orange in it. There's a lot of oranges in this anyway. But I think I'm better off to not do the orange, but I could. So let me know what you think for a joining color, and when it comes to time to ordering, I'll take that into consideration. Yeah, because I have no idea. My typical is, it's got to be black. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You can pick another color. Yeah, I know. Black goes with everything. I know, but other colors can be used too. So that's where we're at. I don't know. I know a lot of other people are working on the Nature's Walk blanket. If you were working on it, let me know. And did you finish yours? Am I just that far behind? I mean, it could be. I'm catching up on things. I am. Last week was spectacular. This week, I just finished a sweater. I'm catching up on stuff. All right. With that, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. You guys have a great day, night, evening, whatever it happens to be. And I will talk to you again later. Bye-bye.